So I'm starting the recording. I'm going to say it every single time because whenever I forget to do it. All right, I think we started right this time.
Woohoo!
Let me check. We are recording. My microphone I just turned off. Okay, my microphone I just turned back on.
Welcome to Jeremiah Creek.
Holy shit! We need an intern. If
We need
anybody
an
out
intern.
there would like to be an intern for Jeremiah Creek, especially if you're a swimsuit model of some sort.
A female swimsuit model.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we have anything.
Not that we have anything wrong with that. I mean,
All right, so we didn't do this last week.
yeah, I mean, it's been. I don't have one. What?
Smooth.
Well, I mean, I didn't bring my stuff in because I was just going to smoke cigars and I was going to light them over there. So I'm smoking.
I was fishing last week. That's why.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and I had my back out before that. So how was fish camp?
It was good. It was not good.
It was Did you catch anything?
I did catch a lot of fish, actually.
Wow. Is it because I wasn't there?
I was fishing off the shore. I didn't even run a boat this year
Oh, wow.
because it was just for us going. It was just me and my dad. My kid wasn't there, and my nephew wasn't there. And
That must have really upset your dad since we have fewer dishes to wash.
oh no, we had more people in the cabin,
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
and it was. I don't know if I don't want to talk about it. My dad listens to the show, so I'm not going to bitch about my dad. I'm going to bitch about my dad.
He's great. Everything he does is correct.
I will bitch about it because I bitched about this to him, so I'm not like upset. His big thing is the food. Always, whenever we go up there, we always split the food. He wants to make sure he's not sponging off anybody, that he's paying his fair share, that everybody's paying their fair share. Well, everybody except for us went up there earlier this year. They went up like on Tuesday,
Wow.
and I wasn't going to do that.
Is it because they're all retiring or something?
Yeah, I think they just like it. Yeah, my cousins are basically retired or working for themselves and can take the time.
No one told you, though, huh?
Oh, yeah, they did.
Oh, okay.
But he couldn't get off. I didn't know we didn't want to go. We didn't want to pay the extra money.
Yeah.
And so we had discussions about the food, for days leading up to it. And I'm like, listen, they told us just wait till we get there. See what they got, see what they need, unless we want something specifically for
Right,
us.
because you know you're going to go to Walmart anyway.
Right. And why pay Chicago, Cook County taxes when we could pay Ludington, Michigan taxes
Right.
at Walmart? And so we decided to go up there. So, all right, so the thing is, though, is that we went directly to the cabin. Did not stop at Walmart on the way, which is what for those of you who have never listened to us before, normally what we do, and Bull has gone with us and my kid, we'll drive up there. On the way, we pass a Walmart. We stop at Walmart. We get whatever supplies we need. We get our fishing licenses and we go.
And when we say supplies we need, we mean enough supplies to feed 35 people for 8 years.
I've been trying to avoid doing that over the last few years, which is very difficult because my father wants to make sure we cover every contingency.
Yeah.
But
We're snowed in. It's okay.
So this time, since there were already people up there and we didn't know what they had or what they needed, we went directly to the cabin. At which point we were told, we have enough food for 300 friggin' people for the next 2 weeks.
Is that good for your dad or bad for your dad?
Bad for my dad.
Oh, no.
So don't worry about it. No food. So there's two ways this is bad. So at this point,
I'm already loving it.
Now my dad's afraid to eat anything because he doesn't want to seem like he's sponging off on people. I understand this feeling.
Yeah.
To a certain extent,
For a
I feel
minute.
the same way. I agree with it. But he takes it to a whole fucking new level.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, we'll just give him some money. So fine. And then it's like, well, how much money do we give him? So we ended up throwing in a few bucks. And so he was fine after a while. One thing, though, we had those great cookies. We had those oatmeal cookies.
Yeah.
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 And he likes to drink milk with him. So I was complaining there was no milk. We got there was milk the first day. Somebody borrowed it, because everybody goes in everybody's cabins to do it. Somebody borrowed our milk, and he didn't want to ask anybody else for milk. And I didn't think just drive into town and get a half gallon of milk, which I should have. But he was complaining about that the whole weekend. All right, so I said there was 2 reasons why that was a problem.
Yeah.
So the food was a problem, a minor problem, but annoying the entire weekend. The other problem was we didn't go to Walmart to get our fishing license.
Oops. Oh, no. Did you get busted?
We got busted.
No way.
First time in 20 years.
Did you go to fish jail?
A conservation officer. We weren't even in a boat. Everybody was like, I've never seen him pull up to the shore. He pulled up to the shore. We were all sitting around there. Let's see your fishing licenses. Me and my dad went.
Son of a
It was
bitch.
like 10 o'clock the first morning we were there. We're like, man, we just got here. We forgot to get our licenses. We're going to go. No, gave us a ticket.
Wow.
$125 a piece.
Oh, wow. That had to drive your dad
And then we had
nuts.
to pay the $20. It was fishing licenses cost $20. But you know what else?
Wait a minute. I thought they used to cost like $80.
No, not if you buy them for 2 days. It's $10 a day or $80 for the whole season.
Oh, that's what I used. I used to buy the whole season for no apparent reason. Yeah, okay. So how often did your dad mention that?
Well, there's another thing. There's an interest. It's just sometimes it's interesting to hang out with my father and see certain things. All right, I got the ticket, and I was pissed off because now I got to pay $135 plus the $20 I still had to buy the fishing license.
Yeah.
We figured they said they were going to come back.
All that money you saved on groceries,
By the
gone.
way, it took me 5 minutes on my phone. I don't know why the hell. I am a computer guy. I don't know why the hell I didn't think that I could buy. I bought fishing licenses on my phone in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Why the hell?
When you saw the guy pulling up the shore, you should have got right on your phone right there.
Oh, I didn't see him.
Oh, okay.
One of the reasons he gave us for giving the ticket is because I hemmed and hawed and coming over to him. I go, honestly, dude, I didn't even see you.
Yeah.
Everybody else had showed him the license, and they're like, hey, the guy's looking. And I look over, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then, so that's one of the reasons why he said he gave us a ticket, because he thought I was ignoring him, and I wasn't.
Wow.
But it really pissed me off because I don't mind buying the license. I just forgot about it, and this is the first time.
Yeah. I mean, that's always routine, man.
First time. And
Because we stop at
we all
Walmart.
stop at Walmart. So, whatever. So I had to pay the ticket. But it was interesting seeing my father's reaction to it because I was pissed off about the money. He was worried about having to tell his wife. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't care about telling my wife. She. But that was an interesting thing. And then, there was something else that he did that was funny to me. I can't remember. But yeah, so and then he couldn't figure out how to pay it, so I had to pay both of them. So he owes me money, Dad. If you're listening,
That's $135.
well, $440 with fees.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, so that was my fishing trip. But I did catch a lot of fish. We had a nice time. One of the things that we did was we ate at my cousin's cabin and they do it up right. And when you've been there, we've only gone there for the night of the fish fry, where everybody
Right.
goes in their fish.
Yeah, which is great, by the way.
It is. But they do that same kind of stuff every night. We just never go there because we always buy food for dinner.
Yeah.
And since we didn't this time, they're like, well, just go over here and eat. So, I mean, we were staying with my, what do you call your cousin's son?
Your
Cousin once removed.
first cousin once removed.
Yeah. So,
Or in Alabama, bride to be.
so he was staying there with his son. He's the only kid now. He's the first of his generation to have kids. And it was pretty interesting, though, because he lives down in Indiana, and he owns several acres, more than I do, like 5 or 10 acres, I can't remember. They have chickens and stuff like that. He's some kind of engineer, we were talking about, because I want to get chickens. His wife sounds a lot like my wife when he describes her in that. She gets pissed off about the shit you buy in the store, for how expensive it is, how much preservatives. So, they make their own bread. They make their own butter, which now we do too. And, yeah.
You make your own butter?
My wife does, yeah.
Okay.
Although, really, there's not that many, in decent butter, there's really no preservatives in it.
No, butter's easy to make. I'm just like, it's also cheap, so like.
Yeah. No, she likes it. I don't know how long we're.
I'm going to come down and visit you in Tennessee, and you're going to be Amish, aren't you?
No, but I've
already got the beard.
I want to get chickens. So that was my fishing trip. But we caught a lot of fish. Weather was absolutely perfect. I didn't bring any shorts because it said it was going to be cold and kind of.
It's always
pissing
cold.
Rain,
Yeah.
And it was warm and sunny the entire weekend.
Some people want me to go camping next week. I don't want to go.
Where?
I don't know, somewhere in Wisconsin. I don't like camping. Camping is stupid.
Oh, by the way, did I get you in trouble? We went to a party for your birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
And when we were sitting around talking, you introduced me to Teresa,
Yeah.
who you refer to. Can we say what you refer to her as?
Yeah. Yeah. It's fine.
Your wife's loud friend.
Yeah. My wife's loud
So
drone.
when you introduced her, I go, "Oh, this is Teresa."
Oh wow. Okay.
And, she looked at me all strange. I wondered if she said anything either.
She didn't say shit to me. No. You know they got me a like you. They got me scotch and they got me a nice bottle, man. I got some good stuff this year. I mean, you got me a bottle of Glenlivet in the rum barrel. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's almost all gone too.
It took me a long time to figure out the perfect gift.
I appreciate you working so hard on that, Dave.
Actually-
Tell me about working hard on finding that gift.
Actually, it was somebody at the fishing trip was talking to my cousin, and they said, "Hey, your cousin says you like scotch." I go, "Well, I used to." And he says, "Because I got this bottle of scotch, and I don't know how to do it. So I don't like it. Nobody seems around like it. You want it?" I'm like, "Sure." Then I throw it in the car. I figured I'd give it to my stepmother. And then I go, "Oh, hey, wait a minute. Bill's birthday's coming up."
Thank you for the effort.
I had the bottle of scotch before I even thought to give it to you. So
It's fine with me. That's how I shop.
it was
You know.
fate.
What did I get you for your birthday this year?
Nothing.
That's right. So, well, I got that, and I got a bottle of Glenmorangie 18-year.
Oh, I could.
Yeah, buddy. That's an expensive one. And
Good shit.
And then this guy, my neighbor, came, and he brought. My neighbor's a wine collector, and when I say wine collector,
Oh, that's the guy with the wine cellar?
with the wine cellar and an underground wine cellar between his house and his garage, a lair, I think. And I looked up the bottle that he brought. It's a $340 bottle of wine that he popped for my stupid ass party.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like. He invited us over for dinner Tuesday night. I'm like, what's that going to be like? So I'm bringing Boone's Farm. I think we'll do a blind test of Boone's Farm, and
Yeah, do you bring wine when you go to somebody's house for dinner? You generally
not his, but generally I do. Yeah. He said not to worry about it. So I'm like, oh boy, and I'm working up to where I can start inviting people to my house because I'm starting to finally get where I'm okay with it. Because years and years I have not been okay with it, and
You've had parties.
yeah, but I don't. How many times have you been to my house for something other than a party? Like just to come over and have dinner? Almost never. Once, yeah. I just don't do that,
We don't do that either.
Yeah, but I want to start. I mean, my wife has people over for games on Friday nights. And but that's different. They're like our oldest friends, and we don't really care about. We clean up, but right now my house is fine. In fact, it's better than it's been in a long time in terms of style and stuff like that. Except for one thing, that is I have an elderly dog, and he smells like an elderly dog, and our whole house smells like a dog.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do about it because he's fucking ancient, and I can't get him into a tub. Now that it's summer, I can wash him outside, but
We'll take him over to that place.
I can't get him into the car. If I lift him, I'll throw my back out. He can't walk up the ramp anymore. So,
Walk over there. It's not that far from there.
oh yeah, there's one in my neighborhood, isn't there? I don't know if he can make it.
I think there's one that comes out.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
Take him out in the backyard with a hose.
Well, now that the weather's good, I'll do that. So, but we wanted to put a
Take him
ramp.
over to the vets and put him to sleep.
That is definitely on the fucking. The problem with that is my son is really adamantly opposed to that, and normally I would go tough shit, but it's kind of his dog in a lot of ways. He grew up with his dog, and I get it. And And when my last dog, I had to put my last dog to sleep. It broke my heart. I broke that day,
it is
man.
rough. But I have to say,
It's not going to be rough for this one for me.
No.
I can do it tomorrow. And
the last dog we had to put to sleep, she had a seizure, and and my daughter was there.
Yeah.
And we took her to the vet. And I think I told you this story before. I don't know if we told it on the podcast.
I don't know.
We were in Tennessee. And we went to this place in North Carolina. Bring the dog in, and the lady's like, "Well, this dog was pretty old, blind, deaf, couldn't go down the stairs anymore."
yeah.
And now had a seizure, and she said it might have been a stroke. And she said, "This is just going to happen. It's going to keep happening."
Yeah.
And so the first time I had a vet go, it might be time to start thinking about it. And so, what was funny is, so we go there, and my daughter was like, we don't want her to suffer, so we'll do it. So she was okay with it, which is what you got to make the point to your kid. Is it at what point is the dog suffering too much?
Yeah.
But they give us a minute. They take her out and they put the IV in, because they do.
Right.
It happens in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So they do the IV, and then they come in and they give us a minute to say goodbye, and they take a bell, like a doorbell thing, and they put it down on the table. They go, "Just press this when you're ready." And we're like, "Whoa, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
What happens when you press the button?" and me, my wife, and my daughter all were like, "What the?" And focus on it. And the lady's like, "No, that just lights up the light outside the door, and we know to come back in." We all start laughing. We're a weird family.
Oh, man.
Well, my youngest child graduated from high school.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Thank you. The drama and trauma of high school is over.
And now the drama and trauma of college is about to be upon you. Man.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't bring my fucking fire.
Yeah. So, what else we got? I got some topics.
I don't know. I've been writing a ton lately, and
Because you want to, or because you have to?
both. I got a lot of money, paid assignments, but I've also got some personal assignments that I'm all on top of, and so I've been writing a lot. I'm back lecturing again.
Yeah, what was that all about?
I give lectures at Masonic lodges, and so there's a particularly cool lodge that I got to go to and talk about the science of journaling and of drawing emblems as a way to entrain them into your consciousness. And it was really cool. Got into a bunch of arguments. That was neat.
Science of journaling.
Science of journaling is real. I mean, I write about that for Attorney at Work already, so I've done a lot of research about it. But journaling is it's really good for you, I think everyone should do it. And but especially if you're a student and you take notes, you got to don't do it audibly. Don't record everything. Take notes with your pen and pencil. Take notes on paper, because it is way better for you. Science has shown it a million times. It's just way better than typing. It's way better than recording. It's just better. And your mind records the notes, the lecture in your mind better if you write down the notes as you go. And so that's what I was talking about last night. It was pretty cool.
You know what? I always know that that's true, but it's always hard for me to remember. I would carry pens, and if I carried a pen, then it would melt in my shirt pocket. So.
Yeah.
Or I would carry a pencil, and I would break the point. Or
Yeah.
I would forget my notebook, or It was a million different things.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of I'm nerdish about that. It's like I've got a lot of different notebooks, and I've got like 8 different pens, and in my regular daily journal, I use 3 different pens in my journal. I have one this is the one I use for drawing my margin. I have one for writing with, and I have one for writing my headlines with. They're all different colors. And then I have really expensive pencils that I write with.
They make pens now that you press a button and it changes color.
Yeah.
Red, blue, and black.
Fuck those. Yeah, fuck that shit, man. But But my mom gave me a really nice fountain pen for doing a job for a while back. It's a Visconti, and it was the Visconti Vincent Van Gogh Visconti. So it's really pretty pen, and I filled that with two different inks, a blue and a black. So it made this really gorgeous storm color that I write with. And then I got another pen this one's got sepia ink in it, and my favorite pen is a $3 Jinhao. This Chinese pen company makes very inexpensive fountain pens that are really good, and it's heavy like a Mont Blanc. It looks like a Meisterstruck, and it writes wonderfully. I filled that with ox blood. Oh my God, that thing is fantastic.
Just to let everybody know, we don't normally talk about this boring shit all the time.
Anyway, back to talking about Dave's dad.
And
fuck you, man.
and
I'm so into it. You have no idea how into it. You don't have any idea how into
I
taking notes I am.
I got into, I get into stuff like that sometimes. I got into grapes a few years ago, remember? So.
Are you going to grow grapes in Tennessee?
You should write a letter to Lewis Black about how people should write more instead of typing more.
When I see talk about that?
He'll talk about, if you send him a rant, he'll read it. And what's hilarious, somebody wrote him a letter. I was listening the other day. Somebody wrote him a letter.
Where do you listen to Lewis? Where do you listen?
YouTube. He does YouTube.
Oh, I should
Lewis
look that
Black
up.
Rants, yeah. And he was talking about how one guy says, he wrote him about the differences between Nebraska corn and Iowa corn. And as a 30-year consumer of corn, my opinion is expert level, and he starts laughing. What the fuck? All the problems in the world, you're going to discuss corn.
I thought you said porn. Corn.
And then the other thing was, one I read was somebody wrote about Pringles. And they were complaining about Pringles, not about the chips. And then he went off on a whole tangent about how Pringles are not really potato chips.
They're not potato chips.
But then he gets back to the letter, and the guy was writing him to complain about the fact that the can is too small to put your hand in. And then you have to so you can only reach a few of them, and then you have to turn it over. They all fall flat. And he's like, it just blows my mind how people get into these
That is a specific
thinking about this shit.
Yeah, that's a guy that has too much time on his hands right there, man.
Well, he's not thinking about sepia colored.
It is my job, okay? It is part of my job. I get paid to write about this stuff.
All right, let me bring up something close to your heart, Disney World.
I did grow up there.
I think you set it on fire once, right?
I say what?
Did you set it on fire?
I set an orange grove on fire. I didn't set Disney on fire. Yeah, it did cross my mind a couple of times, but no, I didn't.
Wow. Disney confirmed it pulled Tinkerbell from a meet and greet at the Walt Disney Resort and Town Square Theater at the front of the Magic Kingdom.
Why?
Well, their quote is, this is a quote from their, I guess, Twitter. Tinkerbell, unfortunately, has become a problematic image for our guests, specifically young girls. Specifically, and by the way, should you use the word specifically twice in the same sentence?
Not specifically, no.
Specifically young girls, and specifically in terms of the portrayal of an unrealistic body image as well as dependency of approval and or attention from Peter Pan as seen in previous incarnations of the character. We feel that these traits are no longer representative of our inclusive focus values and thus currently in the process of redesigning an updated Tinkerbell for modern audiences.
What's that going to be like?
I don't know.
Well, there goes her ass.
Yeah, I don't...
Hey, there's a lot of guys out there with Tinkerbell fantasies, man.
I can't tell from this. This is like the people tweeting back at Disney. But, okay, I've never been to Disney World, or at least when I was, it was like 3 years old. I don't remember. Is a real person playing Tinkerbell?
Yeah.
All right, because like in the story at the top, it has the cartoon character, but then in some of the responses, it has a picture of somebody dressed up as Tinkerbell.
Yeah, they have someone dressed up as her, and in one In one show, she's actually on a tether, and probably that one is when she's on a tether and she kind of flies in on the tether.
Well, then it's a real person
Yeah, it's a real person.
with a real body.
Yes.
So how?
Well, I mean, it's a real person with a real body.
So it's not an unrealistic body image if somebody really is standing there with that body.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you about that.
The other part of it, though, that I don't understand.
But what's she going to look like now? You
Well,
know?
and there's two things. First of all, there's the what does she look like, and then the how do you change her so that she no longer needs attention or approval from Peter Pan?
I mean,
In the show, she doesn't just chase Peter Pan around going, "Please love me, love me."
no. Well, she's captured by him.
In the story, was she captured?
Oh wait, no, she's not.
She's
But
just
why
friends.
is she with him though?
Just because they're friends.
Yeah, it's first of all, it's a dumb story, and second of all, it's like, man, of all the things in the world,
Peter, yeah, no shit, right? Peter, you mean Peter Pan's a dumb story, or
I've always thought it was kind of dumb. It's all right. It's not a good fairy tale, but if they're going to do that, like, what other Disney characters are they going to get rid of? Every single princess. Come on, man. They have waists like insects.
Well, you know what? They made a big deal about it when they made that movie about New Orleans with the black princess,
Oh yeah.
which was a very good story. I can't good songs, but so they've kind of gone into the whole DEI thing, but I don't understand. And the I in DEI doesn't stand for inclusivity. I mean, does that mean you get rid of the ones that? What? You want to have a fat Tinkerbell or
I would love a bad Tinkerbell.
fat Tinkerbell?
Oh, I would also like a fat Tinkerbell. I think that'd be great. Plunkerbell. Tankerbell. Oh my god. Tankerbell. Son of a bitch. We're gonna get canceled, man.
I don't know. I just saw the story and I'm like, really, it's a 100-year-old fairy tale.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it reminds me of when they went back and changed Roald Dahl's books. Stupid.
And unnecessary. The thing about Tinkerbell though is that I didn't see her as dependent on Peter Pan's approval and stuff. She's pissed off at him a lot of the time.
I don't remember. Now, the only one I really remember clearly, the Tinkerbell part, was the one with Robin Williams, where he hooked,
Yeah.
where it was played by
Julia Roberts,
Julia
yeah.
Roberts. And there were scenes where she was mad at him, and he needed her approval as much as she needed his.
Yeah, it was a relationship. It was not.
Is that what it is? Is that they don't want to make little girls seem to think that they should be in an equal relationship, that they should be in charge, that men should seek their approval, but they don't need to seek men's approval?
Well, I think you're overstepping right there, but probably just to provoke me. There. I think the whole thing's dumb as hell. And if they do that, then there's almost every other character that they're gonna have to rewrite.
Yeah, what about Minnie Mouse?
Yeah, I mean Disney's gonna be completely different, and it's gonna be boring as hell.
What other characters?
No, I mean, like I said, every single princess. The only women who are drawn even remotely normal are the Hawaiian characters. Can't remember their names.
Yeah.
They're
Moesha,
not Mona. No. The before that.
the one with the alien?
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, Lilo and
So
Stitch.
Lilo.
Yeah, Lilo is and her sister are almost normal. But I mean, okay. First of all, I know the guy that designed a lot of those characters, Philo Barnhart.
Oh yeah.
And well, I've met the guy. I don't really know him very well or anything, but I don't know where I was going with that. It's just like in games, and like in Tomb Raider and stuff like that. I mean, men draw women, animated women according to their ideals, and women's ideals are often pretty fucking stupid,
Well, but
But they draw men that way
the
too.
same way,
Yeah, they draw men that way too. Gigantic shoulders and waspish waists and stuff like
Or
that.
the guy, With the chin and Sleeping Beauty,
Yeah.
Sleeping Beauty would have to be changed.
Sleeping Beauty would have to be completely changed. Like, she wouldn't be woken up with a kiss. She'd be woken up with, like, I don't know, a tap on the shoulder.
What if Beauty and the Beast? I'm thinking?
Yeah,
Beauty and the Beast.
Beast would have to be better looking.
Be, a small, hunched over, bespectacled IRS agent. It's a little bit more frightening than what they had.
Beauty and the Clerk. I don't know. It's all pretty dumb. And the thing that about some of this stuff is I feel like they're a little preemptive right there, right? Do you think so?
I heard. Yeah, I don't know. Is there people complaining about it?
Well, I don't think you and I are on that circuit.
Right.
So we're probably not reading. We're probably not in those chat rooms, but it is. I mean, they are looking at new generations of fans, and how do you keep those generations of fans? I mean, they've done this stuff before. They had to put away Song of the South.
Yeah.
When you and I were a kid, that would play regularly, but they had to put it away, and for good reason. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but here's the thing: in our day and age, you can find that on YouTube. You can find. It's not like it disappears.
Yeah, but they're not promoting it anymore. I mean, they can't do anything about it.
It's their company. If they don't want to do it, that's fine. But it's not like they're getting rid of it. And to sort of, it seems to me to sort of pretend your history doesn't exist just makes it seem like, it doesn't make it seem like you're really confronting it. You're just making money in a different way.
Well, that's what they do.
It's like Major League Baseball every once in a while has these goofy uniforms. I was watching a Cubs game the other day, and the St. Louis has a jersey that says the Lou. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's like they're doing it just to make money.
The Lou?
Yeah, the Lou.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
We're a commercial nation. It's commerce. I mean, who cares?
Yeah, but that's what really bugs me, I guess, about it is that the more you look at it, the more it is a commercial decision, and it's not this. We care about our nation's little girls. It's like we care about our nation's little girls' money. Now
that it's affecting our bank account,
we care about the parents of our the wallets of the parents of our nation's little girls.
Yeah, it's true, and I don't even care. Yeah, I don't understand any of that crap. I mean, I don't. On the one hand, to me, it's so simplistic that it doesn't require a lot of thought. And on the other hand, it's like.
I don't care what you do. Well, if that's just, I mean, that's another thing too. We're sort of beyond the point where that would affect us. We don't have little kids. I suppose I'll have grandkids someday.
Yeah, someday.
But I mean, I've never taken my kids to Disney World. I always thought it was an overpriced thing, especially we got Six Flags right here, and I'm moving to Tennessee. We got Dollywood.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Dollywood's pretty cool, but I will say this: Disney World is a completely different experience. It's nothing like Six Flags. It's a completely different experience.
Well, I think Six Flags is like an enterprise that's designed to separate you from your money. And to me, Disney World is an enterprise that's designed to separate you from a lot more money.
Oh, yeah. It definitely is. But, I mean, they deliver, I mean, it's a completely immersive experience. They really do pull off that you're in a... when you go to like Tomorrowland, you've entered in like a new reality right there. When you go to whatever they call the Adventureland or the Pirates of the Caribbean, the treehouse. It's a completely like you're in everything's different. It's pretty cool. I have to admit, being a guy that grew up there and really closely associated with it, my family made their money from it and a lot of my friends work there and everything, and I've been there. I danced at the opening of Big Thunder Railroad, and from when I was in high school, and so it's always been a part of my life. And for a long time, I was like, Disney's so fucking stupid. Then we had kids, and my wife was like, "We're going to Disney." I'm like, "Fine, okay," and despite all that, I ended up having a great time because when you surrender yourself to the verisimilitude that they're trying to put together, it's actually pretty cool, and they are thorough. That's the thing that I like about them is they are fucking thorough, there's no place where you can glance where it's not branded, where it's not
Yeah.
finished off. Like when you're around the Haunted Mansion, no matter where you look, it's a haunted thing. You know, even like the bricks in the street, everything has been tuned to whatever that world is that you're in right there, and it's pretty cool. And I you know, a lot of people are like, it's so false, it's so fake. Well, yeah, who gives a shit? Yeah, it's false and fake. So what? That's fun.
That doesn't bother me so much. It's just, yeah, I guess I'm just cheap. It's like,
I mean, it's crazy expensive.
Down to Florida.
Yeah, it's crazy expensive, you know, but I mean, your kids don't ever forget it, you know, but I mean, they don't forget a lot of stuff, so.
Yeah, they don't forget every bad thing you ever did to them. So.
Yeah, that's a fucking truth.
We had right, because did I tell you the sock basket thing? Somehow we got into a discussion. You know, we don't have very many fights. We get along very well with our kids. They're very good. They're good people and stuff like that.
They are.
Somehow we got into it. We're sitting around now. Everybody they're dating or we're dating, but has had all kinds of problems. They tell us stories about their family, which don't apply to us. My wife and I are still married after 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, we owned a house that they lived in their entire lives.
Yeah.
And nobody got beaten or whatever. But so and it's amusing to me. One thing that they bring up that they see as damn near child abuse was I think I sort of browbeat my wife into this. I hated doing socks when you wash socks, matching socks.
Yeah, because it's almost impossible.
And when you have kids who all like different socks, it was a pain in the ass. So what my wife came up with, and I was totally on board with it, was socks went into the family sock basket. We had one laundry basket, wash socks, we put the clothes away to store the socks. You want socks? Go to the sock basket and pick your own out. And you know what? These days now, do you know kids don't even wear match socks anymore?
I don't match my socks. Well, okay, I didn't used to match, but I do now. I have some pretty cool socks now.
I only have white and black socks.
That makes it pretty easy.
Yeah.
All the same brand.
All the same brand,
Yeah.
all the same thickness. I started doing it because at work I wore black socks for
Yeah.
28 years. So, and I, same thing, didn't want to match. So when I wasn't working, I just wore white socks. But they all had little designs on them, and they don't like they have Rocky and Bullwinkle socks. Well, one day they'll wear Rocky, one day Anna Bullwinkle, one day they'll wear two Rocky.
Nobody cares.
But for some reason, this stands out as the most terrible thing that we made them do.
Where did you keep your sock basket?
Usually in the dining room, unless we were having people over.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because we had it in our living room for the longest time, like behind the couch. I don't know why. That's where we had it, and I was always embarrassed about it, until I found out that other people also did that.
See, I didn't know. I don't think I knew you did it.
No, I would never have told you that because I was embarrassed about it. But I know, like, I remember going when my kids were little, went over to the DeChalas house. Remember them?
Yeah.
I went in the house. First thing I noticed is like, holy fuck, they got a sock basket.
Really?
You know? Yep. And I was like, thank God it's not just me.
People who are, what do you call it? Who you would not expect to have a problem matching socks are organized. They're organized.
I guess. I didn't notice that when I would go over to their house. Yeah, I mean, we had that, and I every once in a while I would go, I'm going to match all the socks, and I'd pour it all in a pile and put on a movie, and I'd sit there and I'd match socks, and I would do, and about 20% of the socks would match, and then I'd be like, how the fuck, and I'd be like, I'm going to throw them all away. My wife was like, no, you can't throw all the unmatched socks away. I'm like,
Because they're here somewhere.
but they're unmatched. Yeah, we'll never find them. But see, now I have, because I dress up occasionally. You know, I wear a tux several times a year. I wear suits twice a month sometimes, and so I have some nice dress socks. And in fact, for my birthday, one of my friends gave me Willy Wonka socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and two of them were sports socks, but one of them was these like a golden ticket gold socks, and they're pretty fucking nice. I have to admit, man. I wore them on Sunday night when I did my show. I wore them. Oh, my show sucked.
Which show?
Well, you know I do Fat in Paris, right?
Yeah.
So I did the second one this last Sunday, and it was terrible.
You mean terrible? People didn't show up, or terrible? You were terrible.
Both. So I had actually a pretty good turnout on paper, and then I forgot it's Memorial Day weekend, and nobody likes to do anything. So people were canceling, and which means less money in my pocket, but whatever. But it also means because I capped my audience at 20, and that's actually 4 more than I really want. 16 is what I want. So I had 16 this time. If you have 5 people cancel, that really puts a dent in the audience, and it's weird. So I was like, I reached out to some people like, hey, can I just come to the show? You come for free, just come, And so family came and some other people came, and I suddenly realized I had like some people that had paid, but everyone else was people that were introverted people, which is why they weren't doing anything on Memorial Day. And they were not into it. They were not the kind of people that join in and like, laugh out loud and stuff. And one of them ended up being on their phone the whole time. And I'm like, you know what? If it's an audience of several hundred, no one cares. But in a room where you all can see each other, it's weird, right?
We have a TikTok thing now that I've been uploading stuff to. We should talk about your next Fat in Paris thing.
Well, I gotta rethink it because when you went to the one, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was actually very good.
Even my daughter, teenage daughter, thought it was funny.
One of the things that really worked on that show was, my idea was that I would just tell stories from my book, and I would just wing it. I'm good at telling stories, right? I don't have to think about it at all. I don't have to prepare or anything. I just show up and start talking, and it works out. But I realize that's not always going to work, because if there are people that are introverted in a crowd like that, or people that have a different expectation of how things should go, they kind of need to be led through the show.
Yeah.
And so I realized that I may need to actually structure the thing, not like it's going to have a script, but
part of the thing was that you were telling when I was there, you were telling stories. And people were in the audience who had been involved in some of the stories.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of give and take, or somebody screaming,
and the give and take is fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it seemed to organically lead you to the next story or whatever. So it does seem like you should have a list of stories, or at least go to.
I think what I want to do is have 3 different versions of it, and each version has a logical progression. Because one of the things that happened Sunday night was there wasn't any logical connection between the stories. Also, I didn't get to tell all of the stories because I had told my wife last time on the show you were there, because she interrupted a lot. Both my wives did, and it was funny, right? It was pretty funny. But at that one, she was kind of shy, so she only interrupted a little bit. This last show, she wasn't shy. And I had told her in the meantime, I'm like, you know what? You were really part of the show. I really appreciate that. I'm feeling maybe that was a mistake on my part. Oh, boy, howdy, did she ever. Yeah, and it went way off track. And also, she was wrong. I don't know where her memory is, but and she would, it wasn't like she was adding stuff. She would just tell the story that I was going to tell. Exactly what I was going to say. And I'm like, what the fuck? A couple of times I sat down and looked at my phone while she was telling a story. I have to talk to her about it. Thank God she doesn't listen to the show, because I don't really think it worked out that much, Yeah. But, like, Tony Ski was there, right? He had a great time. My neighbors that went, they said they had a great time. So maybe the people in the audience didn't experience it the same way I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I told the story about Alabama where I had explosive diarrhea in the judges' chambers, and that's pretty funny. And I told the Egyptian story, and that's pretty funny and everything. But a lot of it went way off track, and it was weird, And
my wife had a habit of a lot of times when I would tell jokes to people, they would be like, I don't tell a quick joke. It's like usually a story that leads to something. And a lot of times she'll be jumping and going, we never went there. We never did.
I know. It's like, this isn't a documentary, all right?
I was backpacking through Scotland one time.
Yeah.
We never went to Scotland.
Yeah.
Well, the joke's over, I guess, then.
It was nice, though, that people did. One of the things I'm doing is, I let people interrupt. I tell them, this is not a stage production. You're part of this. And so, like, Tony told a story and somebody else told a story. And I think that really, like, when you were there, you told a story. I think that really works. I think people dig that. But And man, if the whole room had been paying people, I'd make good money on this, And I just need to get it. I need to get it.
You need to get
right.
strangers. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I need to do. It's hard because I don't have a good list and I don't have a budget to advertise. If I could advertise.
Well, I like did. Somebody was telling me about I go on TikTok and I watch videos, right?
Yeah.
I don't produce videos very much.
Yeah.
I did when I first started looking at it, just try it out. But then there's this kid I work with at Enterprise was telling me, you should do TikTok because people do. And actually, a guy that owns a restaurant told me the same thing, that he's getting a lot of people off TikTok.
Really?
That place right at Foster and Elston, the burger place, and he does these TikTok videos. And so what I said, okay, well, I just took a 30-second part out of the last 2 shows we did, and just created a little TikTok video and put them up. They got 300 views overnight.
Wow.
And so,
Yeah, but here's the problem, though, man. I need people that are local.
Yeah.
So I have to somehow reach. What I want to do is join like the Ravenswood or Irving Park Chamber of Commerce, but it's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
And
you gotta be selling something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am selling something. I'm selling tickets and books. So I just got to take the plunge. But I've already got such a huge expense this year because of college. I don't know if I could do that. Oh man, I got my ID form. It's starting to get pretty real, man. So I'm going to be getting an ID back in the mail, and when I do, it gives me. If I were in England, I could go to any part of Oxford with this ID, including like the Bodleian Library and stuff like that. But from America, I get online access to whatever is online. I can't fucking wait.
And you get student rates of everything.
I will be a member of the Oxford Student Union. And if you ever want to watch,
wait, those videos?
Yeah.
Oh, like
the debates.
The debates.
Yeah.
You should go.
I mean, I am going in 2025. I'm gonna go for.
Hopefully, they'll have a debate while you're there.
I don't know when they do it. I know a lot of stuff in the summer is dark, so they have like the classes like I'm going to do. They do those, but the Masonic Lodge at Oxford doesn't meet in the summer. So when I go,
all right. Well, here, let's go to one last story before we end it. So I was telling you before we started, I went and power washed my father-in-law's deck this weekend. And let me tell you something about power washing. First of all, I didn't realize it's like they're getting a little. We don't have barbecues like we used to.
Yeah.
We used to have every Memorial Day, Labor Day, whatever. We go over there and have barbecues. So I haven't really noticed it. And even when I was going, but he told me they haven't power washed the deck since they put it up 15 years ago. And they have a tree right next to their deck. So they have algae.
Yeah.
That was getting on the deck. And this is not the frame is wood, but everything else is decks.
Yeah.
So, you can power wash the shit out of it, and you're not going to knock off the paint or whatever. And so I went over there with a power wash. It took us 8 hours. And I'll tell you something. It was tiring and kind of annoying to do it, but man, is that satisfying.
Yeah.
The power wash.
Yeah.
Where you could see the shit coming off. And
That's TikTok videos right there, man.
Oh, I should have thought of that.
Have you seen the power washing videos?
Oh, I loved it. And
what is wrong with us?
That's where I was actually going with this. That guy, okay, for those of you who don't know, you can look up on YouTube power washing or yard work or whatever.
Also, oddly satisfying. That's a channel, oddly satisfying.
But yeah, it is watching those videos. This guy just goes up and power washes people's deck for free, and he makes money on YouTube doing this. That's what he tells people. He goes, I got a YouTube channel, so you don't need to pay.
Yeah.
Me. And
man, what? I need to find some of those businesses, man.
By the way, I mean, I don't know how we make money because we don't make money on this thing.
No, I don't know how anybody makes money. I don't know how to make money. I was not blessed in this life to be a person who makes any money.
There's figuring out ways to monetize. Man, send us, if you're watching this, send us how do we monetize this shit? Because we just do this for fun. We have never made any money doing it. But anyway, what was funny though is like I enjoyed sitting there with this power washer just for 8 hours, just going down.
That's a long. How big is his deck?
8 by 10, but it was the moss or algae.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty thick in some spots.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there doing it, and then like the people next door were coming out there, and I'm like, hey, listen, I'm gonna try and keep it away from you, but let me know if I get you with this. And they were fine. But what was really funny is my wife was there, and she's like, well, you want me to help? I'm like, well, whenever I get tired, but I was enjoying it, so I didn't mind.
Yeah.
And at some point we were talking about, like I was explaining to her when I power, because I've done my deck and I've done our both houses decks. I like power washing, but I do it I take a square and do that square and then move on to the next. And my thinking is always when I'm planning this is that if I have to stop, like lightning strikes or it really takes a long time, at least I know exactly how much and where I've got it done.
You can see your progress.
But in reality, it's because, I think it's because you can see your progress better.
Yeah.
And so I said, so I'm going to do the railings, the inside of the deck, the deck, the railings and stuff on the inside, then do the stairs, and then go do the outside of the deck. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay, that sounds reasonable. So I start doing it. Then the first time I have to go to the bathroom, of course, she picks up the power washer and starts doing the complete opposite of what we all do. Starts doing the stairs. And then I come back and she's like, so she does like.
And now it's confusing.
Then she's doing the chairs that were on the deck, and I'm just
She's fucking around.
It,
Now your whole process is fucked up.
And I was doing this, like every time I took a break and she would do it, I would be watching her going, I think, is there such thing as just like OCD cleaning? Where,
Yeah.
because she'll start cleaning something and then see something else dirty, move over to
But
there.
it's not OCD, man, because OCD would be completely ordered. She's got whoa CD cleaning. She's like, whoa, that looks cool. Whoa, I'll do that. Whoa, I'll do this. I don't know, man.
It was amusing to me to do that. She would just switch from one thing to the other.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think your wife has some pretty serious ADHD. Mine too.
No, I never see it other than cleaning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine leaves knives everywhere.
How many knives do you have?
Well, enough that occasionally I'm concerned, but she uses them to like open boxes and stuff. I'll go into. I walk from my office to the kitchen, and there's a knife on the dining room table, and there's one on the counter, and I'm like, something weird going on, man.
Actually, because you just brought this up, and it reminds me of something. We were going down to Tennessee last year, sometime, whatever, bringing stuff to the house. We were over at my dad's house. Now, my dad has, he has a huge basement, and they store stuff in the basement. And he goes, hey, you want some silverware? I got some silverware out, so we're not using it anymore. I'm like, yeah, sure. So he goes down, he brings up a box of knives. I mean, I'm
Only
talking
knives?
30, well, no, there's some other stuff too, but really, the knives is what caught my attention. Like 30 knives.
Why?
I don't know.
How many? Why?
Butcher knives, ceramic knives, all these knives. I'm like, why do you have so many knives? He goes, Angela, I cook some. I'm like, well, I cook a lot too, but
I got 2 knives.
I have a usually what happens is I have one knife until it gets dull, and then I throw it away and get a new knife. I don't know what you're...
You don't sharpen your knife?
I do now because I have one of those things, but not really.
I have 2 knives, and the only reason I have 2 is because my wife got one for Christmas from her company. She got a really nice Japanese chef knife and gave it to me because I cook. That's the only reason I have 2. I had 1 knife for like the last 20 years, you know? And it was one. I had one until I broke the tip off, and I sent it back to. It was a Wusthof, all right, and I sent it back to the company, and then it's never showed up again, and I have no way to prove I sent it there. So I got another knife. I've had that knife for 10 years. Who has 30 knives, man?
I have at my house the most knives I've ever had now because my son gave me a really nice knife set in the wood block.
Yeah.
On the counter, for Christmas. And that is the most knives I've ever had.
And if there's 10 knives in that block, 2 of them you use. The tiniest one and the biggest one.
Yeah, the steak knives and then the butcher knife. And it comes with one of those things, not quite a cleaver. I don't know what the hell it is. I use that one too.
Yeah, it's got
Three different types of knives. Like there's a fillet knife in there. I don't fillet fish. So
Yeah, you don't have to because you got those weird guys that fillet all the fish every year at summer camp. I mean, fish camp.
Oh yeah, but like I make salmon now. My wife loves the way I make salmon, and I on TikTok I learned this. If you get a nice fillet of salmon from the store, you put a pot of water on to boil, and you put the salmon skin side up on a rack over the sink or whatever, and you pour the boiling water over the skin, and then it just pops right up.
And then you deep fry it, right?
No, I
Because salmon skin's delicious,
air fry
man.
it sometimes,
Yeah.
but most of the time I take butter and maple syrup and Dan O's seasonings, and I bake it in the oven. I just made it last night.
Salmon skin is salmon skin and chicken skin. They should sell that separately because I'd fucking buy it. It's delicious.
I was watching a YouTube video on how to fillet fish because when I went out to Tennessee, I'm going to go crappie fishing. So I want to learn
That's
how
a
to
delicious fish, man.
Yeah.
That's what we catch at fish camp is crappie mostly, and they are delicious. In Alabama, my stepdad's a champion crappie fisherman.
Yeah.
And man, he'll come back with a couple of hundred fish from one trip. He's just amazing. And they have fish all year after that. I don't cook a lot of fish in the house because makes your whole house smell like fried fish. It's nice while you're eating it, but the next day it's like, ugh. You know, so I don't cook it. Tomorrow I'm grilling steaks. First time grilling the whole year.
Tonight I'm doing sausage and peppers.
These are the fascinating topics that you can expect from Jeremiah Creek.
And we're at the end. So thank you for joining us, and I'm sorry we this is what happens when we don't look for stories over the last couple of weeks.
I've been on drugs, man.
Start talking about pens.
Hey, you just lay off my pens.
All right, I gotta figure out why is this doing this? All right, so we will be back next week. For some reason, this thing is not. I can't get this off. My microphone is on. Oh, I just screwed something. All right, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.